The all-new Power 104.4 FM, the Underground, the Bandwagon Morning Show in full swing right now. We're going on. Make sure you jump on at the Bandwagon Radio. Phone lines, they're wide open right now, 980-224-0520. Again, 980-224-0520. We've got special guests in the building today, rocking out with us, man. Introducing to some and welcoming to others, my man Kevan Glover, representing the Queen City Music Awards, celebrating 13. It's the 13th annual, correct?
13?
That's a big number right there. That's a big number. Double digits, baby. You
That's
know
an
what I'm saying?
excellent number.
That's a teenager right there.
That's a teenager. He got a full-grown teenager right
Middle
there.
school, 8th grader.
Welcome in Kevan Glover to the Bandwagon Morning Show and Power 104.4. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Appreciate you having me.
Also, the Connected magazine, a publication of both hard copies as well as online, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so brother, many hats. I'm gonna let him explain a lot of different things that he's got going on. But first and foremost, let's start off talking about the 13th annual Queen City Music Awards. This is something that I actually witnessed you birthing. 13, I guess. Yeah, 30. I keep saying 13. It's like, man, it's been that long.
Crazy.
That's a big deal, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about first and foremost, 13th annual. What does that mean to you, man?
Just longevity and consistency, man. Like I say, you could tell Prague been around since the beginning because he still has music in the awards. We didn't revamp it so much where it used to only be music or whatever, but now it's morphed into a whole other situation, man. And I'm just blessed to have people continuously support because we had a vision that just went even bigger than what I thought when I first started. You know, it was just about giving the local artists a platform. Now it's still giving them a platform while actually giving scholarships to kids who excel in the arts and sports. So this year at the award show, we'll be giving away 26 scholarships.
That's awesome.
So it's so much bigger than just the music, man. And I think that's why it's lasting as long as it has because, Prague, you know, stuff don't last 13 years out here.
No, not in this market. Not in this market. It's hard to get something to last a year in this market.
Yeah,
so
it's tough.
that's kudos to you for keeping it going thus long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I had to start. I thought that was a great question to kind of start off with. You know, like what does that mean to you being 13, being the 13th annual, and you know all you've had to endure. So let's talk about some of the ups and downs of what it took to get to the 13th annual Queen City Awards.
Man, it's just, you know, when you're the first one doing something, it's very difficult for people to understand what you're doing. Remember, 13 years ago, the music scene wasn't nowhere near what it is now.
Facts.
You know, having the different platforms like you guys have right now, that wasn't out. So it's a lot more, you know, built off your rep or your communication with different people, man. And I just, like I said, I'm just blessed to be able to have, you know, the resiliency of, you know, going through the ups and downs of no sponsors.
I was just about to say, let's name it. Let's talk about it.
People not believing in the area, man. And, you know, then, you know, once, you know, some of the cats get a little buzz, they feel like they're too good for the award show. The celebrities feeling like they don't need to come to the award show. You know, and that's one of my main things with this area. It's like, there's so much talent out here, but it's like when somebody make it, you know, with the exception of the baby now, they really don't come back and do what they're supposed to do to make the area even bigger.
Right.
You look at New York, Atlanta, all those different places, LA, real big major cities. The celebrities open up clubs. They're starting record labels. They hopping on people's songs.
They're giving back to their market.
They're making their area cool, so it's popping. So if T.I. and Jeezy got beef, that's not bigger than Atlanta. So if it's something for Atlanta or a show, they're gonna separate that and come out there and do something that's for the betterment of the city. Out here, you'll have a dude on Betty's Ford and West Boulevard who ain't really popping like that, but they'll still have that riff and cause a problem within the actual situation instead of working out. And, you know, at the end of the day, man, ain't nobody coming to save us, man. We got to save ourselves.
That's kind of that's ironic. That's
we were just
exactly what we were just talking about.
Just having that
This is the
conversation.
perfect time to have this conversation because we were all talking about this. And I think right now, looking at even the cast currently right now, we've got a promoter, we have a podcaster, as well as a developer. We also have an artist. So we got an array of just talents here on this cast that I think this makes sense to have this type of conversation because it does start with us. It starts with us, the people of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Creating those other avenues and platforms for us to benefit from, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you another question. So, and when it comes to building something like this, you're talking about building a platform that helps other people. Because myself personally, I do the same thing. We build platforms for other people. Like, we can't personally benefit from them. I'm not an artist. I don't rap. I don't sing. You know what I'm saying? However, I can set up plays. I can help create platforms and plays and patch you into other people and other networks that can help you, right? Mm-hmm. So what would you say is one of the most frustrating things that you've encountered with doing the award show in relation to an artist? What's one of the hardships that maybe you see it every year annually and you just you want to speak on it? What's that one thing that you want to say to artists that you've encountered and you just they need to know this?
Don't hold back either.
Yeah, don't hold back.
The most egregious thing.
The bandwagon is about saying everything. We get it off our chest.
One thing about me, man, is I've been working with myself for 15 years, so I've always been able to speak my mind and what I do. I don't have anybody necessarily to answer to, so to speak. So some of the biggest things is understanding that you still have more growth to do.
That's a key.
So just say you'll have some artists get on, just say some of the major platforms and get their song played. You can't tell them they're not Jay-Z and Beyonce after that. Or
game now, bro.
It's just humbling. Even to take it back with I make people do 10 hours of community service in order to be a nominee. That's one of the requirements.
That's a beautiful thing, actually.
The reason I did that was I went to, at the time, Mayor Jennifer Roberts. I was asking her to come and support the award show. And she was like, Mr. Glover, I know what you do for the community is great, but why should I support these people on this ballot? I don't know who any of them are. So she was like, what are they doing for the community? I ain't no liar. I was like, hey, well, give me a minute, I'll be back. So I came with the idea of 10 hours of community service. Now, we have almost 400 nominees. So we giving you 4,000 hours of community service a year. So when we did that next year, she was on stage the very next year, kept her word, was like, yeah, I'll be out there dancing on stage with enough said, all that stuff. And some of the artists feel like they don't need to do community service. And I'm like, how are you planning on building a fan base if you're not actually out here with the people?
Right.
You wake up in the morning. All y'all don't woke up in the morning, see somebody say, good morning, my city, this, that. Like, what are you doing for your city? Because the knock used to be on me, he from New York, don't support him. But I don't know too many people, celebrities or otherwise, who done gave over 200 scholarships away. I ain't go to high school, none of that stuff out here, whatever, so I'm just real neutral in the situation, because I don't care if you went to Garinger, West, whatever you went to, it don't bother me. What side of town you on? My thing is just, if it makes sense and it make good business sense, we gonna do it and help out. If it don't, just because you're black, I ain't gotta work with you. And some people get into that mode too. And I tell these artists, you gotta get out of town.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you just in the hole in the wall spot performing, we'll probably never meet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a person like Prague and different people, whatever, you need to go and introduce yourself to them. It's not for us to find you, it's vice versa.
Right.
And I tell them, know your key people in your market, so that way if somebody called me from such and such, saying, hey, you ever heard of this artist? I'm gonna give my honest opinion. Now, I ain't never heard of MC woo woo woo. Know what I mean? I'm not hating. We just didn't cross paths. You might actually be popping at the little hood club. You might really be popping, but the odds of somebody coming in there that's really gonna try and help you and push you to that next level is unlikely. And like I say, even with the award show, some people be like, oh man, you acting white, we can't curse. No, this is professionalism.
Right.
So we have to evolve.
I tell everybody all the time, I'm never gonna be in kindergarten again. I'm never, I ain't in high school playing basketball. Like, that was a good era. We had a good time. Now we have to elevate and move on. And a lot of these cats really don't know how to move on.
Well, that goes back to another conversation we had off air where I was talking about the evolution of artists and, dropping jewels. Some artists don't know things until you tell them, and I agree with that. But then the key to that is then when somebody informs you, you're supposed to be receptive to that information and do better. When you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I definitely can agree with you on that. Nevaeh, did you want to chime in real quick as an artist, from an artist perspective?
I mean,
and I see you working too. I just want to let you know, because I don't reach out to a lot of, but I see her and I try and make sure, because
he does.
Some people be like, oh man, he seen mean in all his photos. I said, I'm mad cool, but I'm just it eliminates about a lot of stuff, whatever. Yes, so a person can't be like it's favoritism if this person went. We had that before. Oh, the only reason such one because they know Kev. I know everybody out here for the most part.
Right.
So we wouldn't even do an award show if that was the case or whatever. But I just wanted to say, I see you doing your thing.
I appreciate that.
That's right. I get you, girl.
I mean, if you're gonna, but my thing is, if you're gonna be an artist, you gotta own that. You have to own what comes with it, you know, and just what he said, you got to get out there and make yourself known. You can't expect anything. Period. It's not even about people knowing you. You can't expect any of that. You got to work and grind to get that. And if you're not willing to do that, artistry is just not where being an artist is just not where you need to be. You can make music, you know, you can, you know, express yourself, but I don't think being an artist is where you need to be at, because this takes work. It takes real work
and money.
Exactly.
It's
and
a
money.
business.
Right.
It's a business.
It is. Yes, it is.
It's a business.
And if you're just not willing at that moment in your life to I guess give into that, then you should take time and get yourself prepared for it. Just like you said, the knowledge is so important. And a lot of these new artists, they're coming out just, you know, oh, I want to make some music, and they're just going to put the music, you know, they're thinking it's going to happen overnight, you know, but there's so many other things that you have to put in place before you can even say you're an artist, you know, in my opinion. You know, you really have to get your mind, get your mind, get your body, get your spirit right to be an artist. And really have people take you seriously, you know.
That's the key. It's
Right.
a business, so you want them to take you serious.
Right. and me and Prag, that conversation we was having, you know, it's not all about the music at the end of the day. You know, it's about rapport building. You know, it's about establishing, you know, who you are as a person. You know, if you're shady, it's gonna show. It's going.
I'd rather it show.
Yeah, your shadiness is gonna show. Period. You know, even if it's to another shady person, it's gonna come out. So at the end of the day, it's just about being comfortable with who you are and being willing to share that, like genuinely share that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Kevin Glover in the building checking us out, man. If you riding with us right now, make sure you chime on in 980-224-0520, 980-224-0520. Let me ask you another question. What does it mean for those artists that do appreciate what you're doing? Like, what does that do for you as an individual who's, you know, digging inside himself, giving from the heart, trying to create platforms and outlets for people, you know? What does that do for you when you do get the pats on the back, or artist does run up to you like, man, look, I appreciate you, Kev. Like, this was what I needed. Like, I just needed this step up. What does that do for you as an individual?
Man, I really appreciate it, like I said, because you need energy doing this type of stuff. Because, like I say, it's not a lot of thank yous. It's not a lot of, you know, because you're dealing with
That's right.
a lot of egos.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, you know, sometimes you got to humble yourself to understand that most people that you're giving things to, you way further than them. You know, so if I could be humble, and I try to always stay humble. I got a 07 Impala out there. I could be driving the Benz, Bentley, whatever, but my thing is to just always stay grounded, because I didn't get in here or come down here just to flex on people. I came down here to better myself, get into a totally different mode, and create a legacy. And a lot of the artists, man, is just, I got like your Kevius, Just K, you know, like your B Sinceres. I got Luckbone, you know, just different, just different cats who I done took on tours and did different things with, man. And you know, I can see the appreciation. You know, some people tell you thank you, whatever, but really don't mean it.
Show you.
You know, you won't see them until the award show come back around again. You know what I'm saying? But we was over there doing something at the office, and he came, pulled up, and started painting, and Luck came, started nailing. You know, so you can just see different stuff, whatever. And people who really appreciate it. And like I say, don't nobody owe me nothing, man. Anything I've ever done was out of the heart, whatever, but it's always cool when a person reciprocates that back to you.
Acknowledges it, yeah. I can always appreciate that, man. You know, being in a similar position of ownership and having staff and people essentially that, you know, look up to you or look at you as a mentor, that's key what you said. Like, people need to know that sometimes a thank you can go a long way. Like, yo, I appreciate it, man. Like, we're out here giving. And then also, let's talk about this real quick before we take a break. Let's talk about the family aspect, because we're sitting here giving. And at the same time, we're taking away from our own lives. People don't understand that part. So what has this done for your family life? Like, you know, being away from the family a lot and having to set up shows and being on the road and things of that nature. Like, what has it done for your family life? I'm sure they're still very supportive of you right now and everything. So let's talk about the family life in connection to the Queen City Awards and the growth there.
Let me tell you, one year I remember me and my wife, we had separated. But she's like, you just crazy.
Because all the movement.
Because like, and I could get, and I got it at the time, whatever, you know, but it was just like, you know, when you see something, it don't always matriculate to money off the bat. But you can see it just like I'm sitting here looking at
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Right.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
so it was just
It's
like
that visionary
Yeah.
move.
it,
man.
it was just like, you know, and I don't know if you remember, Diddy was actually gonna buy the Bobcats before Bob Johnson, and I actually had a chance to talk to him, and we had a real good conversation for a minute, man. And it was just like he was like, man, it may only be one person believing your dream, it may not be nobody, and that was like, he's like, man, I had separated from this and did that, and that was at the time that we had separated, and it was just like, I know I'm on the right path, you know, but you know, at that time we had 2 kids or whatever, so that was our connection to kind of stay and talk and work everything out, whatever. But now I bring her around all the different things, so she understands now
Yeah.
and see what's
Sees
going
it
on.
all.
So
Yeah.
now my kids, they heavily involved with different stuff. She's heavily involved with different stuff. She, you know, this year we implemented, last year we implemented Connected to Educators, where we award 6 teachers as well, because she's a teacher at Northwest School of the Arts.
Okay, good
So I see
stuff.
her bring
Yeah,
her stuff
dope.
home as well. So we got so much going on as far as taking on other responsibilities and other people's problems. You know, and it's just like, yo, at the end of the day, you know, we out here to do something bigger than ourselves. You know, the family's able to, you know, my daughter, she did a domestic violence thing last year. That's going to be an annual thing. So I see the influence and them, you know, wanting to be bigger than just a 13-year-old girl or 14-year-old, you know. So I definitely see it, whatever. But like, it wasn't always easy. Because you definitely take it from that household. You definitely, you definitely running up them credit cards. You definitely doing something. And like you say, and then not to hear a thank you.
Yeah.
Or, you know, not to get some of the support you think you should get.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I just try and get some of the local cast, whatever, who got big names to understand, like, yo, let's come together.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
create some type of situation where everybody can win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Take heed to all our listeners, all our artists out there. It's about us coming together. We got to unify, change up this whole thing that's going on right now. And it's going to take for us to come together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is we're not going to get it separated. You know what I'm saying? Right now, our eyes is on product on the Carolinas. We got to come together. We got to unify. There's power in numbers. That's all I'm going to say. We nonstop. It's Drake. Power 104.4.